Hi, everybody, and welcome to the college football edition of ProLine. And kind of been looking forward to doing this one because we've got two awesome games to talk about. Yep, we're talking about the two marquee games on the schedule. Oregon visiting USC, Alabama heading to Baton Rouge to face LSU. I'm Dave Cokin. Fairway J is here. John Cranton from Jim Feist Sports. We've got some terrific offers to tell you about. And also Jeff Saad from LVSS will be checking in, our man on the street segment. Before we get to the games, let's talk about the offers because we've got some strong stuff this week, and I'll start myself. Last week was huge. College football game of the year, my 32nd annual college game of the year, and it was pretty much over by early in the third quarter. Boise had completely taken over the game. Boise State rolls past Wyoming, 25-7 lifetime on my college football game of the year now. It's been really good lately, really good. I mean, every handicapper has his hot stretches and then some periods of time where he won't do as well, might even lose. Even the best never win all the time. But right now, I am completely on top of things. It's just winner after winner after winner. I don't know how long it's going to last because none of this lasts forever. That's why it's pretty much a good idea to get on all my stuff right now and capitalize. I'm out of the gate big in the NBA. NFL's been solid all year, really. The college football the last 2 weeks have been sensational. No college basketball yet, but you can be sure I'm ready for that as well. The entire month of November for $1 a day, $30 for all 30 days in November. You get every action play I've got in every sport for $1 per day. That's an unheard of offer. Make sure and capitalize on it now by calling 1-866-896-1629. That's 1-866-896-1629. Jay, you had a big play on the Broncos on Sunday night. I know about that. College totals, as usual, were winners for you. And this week, you've got a guaranteed winner, which means it must be something you really like.
Yeah, Dave, it'll include our AFC underdog game of the year in NFL action. 4-1 guarantee. We'll have 3 college plays. That's just $25 when you call the office, 1-866-896-1627. I'm with you. Early season, we got the crossover with football and now basketball starting. Lots of plays and interest, and you take advantage of these lines. I know you had the Mavericks opening night outright over the Lakers. Those kind of situations, you hear the Lakers players talk about the lack of, getting to play together and chemistry. You take advantage of that early this season. We'll have lots of that, including an NBA high roller going tonight. I started off 1-0 with the over by 40 points in the Heat game opening night. Let's keep that going. 1-866-896-1627. A 4-1 guarantee. 3 in college, 2 in pro, including our AFC underdog game of the year. 1-866-896-1627.
John, Jim is he's rolling. College football, big week. Last week, the NFL's been really strong all year, and the big event goes this weekend. It's Jim Feist's college football game of the year. John, tell us all about it.
On all cylinders everywhere. 28-18 run in the NFL. He was 6-1 last Saturday in college football, including that Big East game of the year winner with Syracuse, an underdog, straight up winner. Well, this Saturday, his 2012 college game of the year goes. He's 10-2-1 last 13 years since 1999. It's $99 online, but you can get it for $25 with a guarantee. You will win or get the rest of November college football free. And if you sign up early, you get a bonus TV winner going tonight and Jim's NBA plays right through Saturday. All this for $25 plus the guarantee. 1-866-841-1655.
All right, guys, here we go. We'll start with the West Coast game. There's usually, for some reason, we usually start with East Coast games, but let's start with the West. Let's go West this time. Oregon, unbeaten. They're one of the teams that's trying to get to that national championship game, the BCS title game in January. Major test this Saturday. They're in L.A. to face the men of Troy. Oregon's a big favorite. It's easy to understand why they are, particularly with USC coming off another loss last week and really out of the national championship picture. That makes this basically their Super Bowl. So it's a fascinating matchup with Oregon favored on the road, and the total is 70. Jay, let's start with you on this one.
Dave, early season, I always talk about this. you have to look at current form, and Oregon is clearly playing better on both sides of the ball right now. But opening week or early season, this line's like pick 'em. We knew that USC was highly touted coming into the season. They haven't performed up to expectations, and looking at form, you certainly would look to Oregon. They lead the nation now in scoring. And you could argue that they pulled the foot off the pedal a little bit at times. So this is an explosive team. Thing I noted in conference play, they've been terrific. They've won 15 in a row now on the road, going back 4+ years. The Oregon Ducks. Few have been better. And when you talk about the motivation, we know that in the coaches polls, this team's number 2, but in the computers, they're number 4, and that's because they haven't played the stronger schedule. That's going to change now starting this week with USC. They still have Stanford ahead. This team, I think from a motivational standpoint, comes really good here this week. We'll see if USC has enough defensively. There's a couple things in the statistical profiles that don't show up often. USC is the number 1 penalized team in the nation. They average over 10 penalties per game. So while we look at and Oregon's not too far behind. They average over 8 per game. So while USC is not showing as impressive, a lot of it is they just shoot themselves in the foot. They take penalties. It affects field position. They have the offensive playmakers, certainly in the passing game, and Barkley and Lee, and the ability to really extend teams. But they seemingly are making too many mistakes. Now, Oregon, to beat them, you've got to get in their backfield, and USC has the linebacker strength to be able to potentially put some pressure on this team to not only have to run the ball, but if they get in passing situations, they can make it pay a little bit. I think USC has to play their best game and minimize the penalties to be able to pull this out, because there's just so much strength here with Oregon, and their defense is underrated. I think from a value standpoint, I could make the argument that USC is the side here, and at home they'll come with their best. But in terms of form and where you're at, I don't see how you cannot look at Oregon, and knowing that they have the opportunity to get ahead, they won't let up here, Dave, because we know that the importance of the computer rankings for this team to move up. There's a lot of pros and cons, I think, for both sides. My initial look early in the week here was to definitely look at USC and the points, but as I look at the matchups more, there's some concerns, and certainly penalties and the mistakes of USC are one of them.
Well, it's not a good matchup for USC because the biggest problem USC has, and you talked about what their biggest problem on the field has been with the lack of discipline. They don't have any depth. And they're going against a team that plays faster than anybody else in the country. Oregon is also fresh as a daisy. They're coming in off a virtual bye week. I mean, Colorado was a nothing game. They got out there and they scored 50 points immediately. It was coin flip, 50 points. And then they just took it easy from that point on. When you see the numbers in these games, believe me, the sharp side in me wants to look at the home dog, because I know the public is going to like the road team here. But you can't look past matchups. That's still got to be the determining factor, ultimately. You can't just bet because, the public likes one side and the supposed pros like the other side. So what? Sometimes the public gets the right side. I don't even know what the breakdown is in this game, so I don't know if that's necessarily the case. I haven't really checked the percentages of tickets being written. I will. But I can tell you that from a matchup standpoint, this is Oregon's game. They're completely the wrong style for USC. And USC is going to get their points in this game. They're not going to get as many as Oregon, in my opinion. I would be very surprised if the Ducks don't win this. And unlike past weeks where Oregon has taken it easy, showed a little compassion in the second half, they won't here. They're going to score as many points as they possibly can against USC. This is the big sell game for Oregon. They can win votes. If they go in and beat USC by 3 touchdowns, believe me, they are going to be the favorite to get to that championship game against Alabama. If Alabama gets there, we'll talk about that in just a little bit. I don't chisel it in stone. I'm not locking myself in on this, but right now I've got to side with Oregon. John, what do you think?
Yeah, when we did our Pac-12 preview show back in August, I was down on USC. I thought they were overrated. Not on offense. They had plenty of NFL caliber talent on offense. It was the defense and the coaching staff that bothered me. The defense is really where they lost all their scholarship players. And then there's Lane Kiffin. I mean, when he was with the Oakland Raiders, they were a sloppy team. He went to the University of Tennessee for one season. They were a 500 team. There was nothing in his background that tells me he's an above-average coach. With that said, for this rivalry game, boy, I can't back Oregon just because of this number is too big. I see a very tough game with both offenses going up and down the field. One of the positives for USC, this offense with Matt Barkley, just sensational. They can play with anybody. He's got 25 touchdowns, 8 picks, and you got Silas Redd out of the backfield. Tremendous wide receivers in Lee and Robert Woods. I mean, this kid, Marquise Lee, 5 100-plus yard games receiving this season. And then last week's game against Arizona, absolutely phenomenal. 16 catches for 345 yards. And remember, last year, USC went up to Oregon and won 38-35. Both teams had about the same number of yards, each over 460. I noticed from a spread angle, when USC gives up 200 yards rushing per game like they did last week, they do bounce back pretty well, 9-2 against the spread. I see this, like last year, a very tough, close game, so I will have a small lean toward the angry, wounded home dog in this one.
Before we get to our second game of the week, which is Alabama-LSU, let's check in with our other man on the street, Jeff Sod from LBSS. He's got a free pick on an NFL total going on Sunday. Jeff?
Thanks, Dave. Free play coming up. But first, my college total of the year goes on Saturday. You can get that monster release along with NFL doubleheader on Sunday, plus a bonus TV winner going tonight. All 4 plays just for $15 from LVSS. Just call 1-866-575-8916. Your free total from Week 9, the Bills at the Texans. Both teams come off a bye week. While most people think of Houston as a dominant defensive team, they are on a 4-1 run over the total because of a strong offense. 230 yards passing per game and 6th rushing with 141 yards per game. They showcased that the last game, a 43-13 pasting of the Ravens. This great Houston ground game is going to love facing this Buffalo run defense because, well, they don't play any. The Bills are dead last in rush D, allowing 176.9 yards per game, throwing a secondary ranked 20th, and Buffalo will get behind early and have to throw a lot, all of which means a lot of points. Buffalo is 5-2 over the total this season and comes off a 35-34 loss to Tennessee. Play the Bills and Texans to go over the total on Sunday. And once again, get my college total of the year, plus an NFL doubleheader and a bonus TV winner going tonight. Off just $15. Call LVSS at 1-866-575-8916. Back to you, Dave.
All right, there he is, Jeff Sod, LBSS. Good luck again this weekend, Jeff. Alabama, LSU on Saturday. The last 2 times these teams have met, there were basically no points scored by LSU. They did nothing against the Alabama defense, and it's not like Alabama actually torched LSU. You had a game that was almost you talk about a pitcher's duel in the regular season last year. And then the bowl game, Alabama pitches the shutout. Both games way under the total. And you know what? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think more of the same here. Alabama's offense is better than it was a year ago, but the defense is still the strength of this football team. And as far as LSU is concerned, I have just not seen enough to trust their offense to do much against this Alabama defense. Flip side is LSU's defense is just fine. I think you're going to see more of the same, and unless there's turnovers, you're looking at a game that could be in the 20s. I don't think you'll see many points here. I don't think it's that tough a call. I'm going with the under. I think the number right now is we're looking at 42.5. I got to tell you something, John. I'll be surprised if it gets even close to that. And barring defensive scores, I think you get a game in the 20s or low 30s.
Yeah, last year you had two games between these teams, 9-6 and 21-0. I agree with you. There's going to be great defense. The thing about Alabama is they really have so much for this game. They're disciplined, they're confident, they're the defending champs, and they're balanced. And that last point, they're balanced on offense. That's really going to be the key for this game. I mean, quarterback A.J. McCarron, 18 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and then he's got the outstanding ground game in Eddie Lacy and T.J. Yeldon to lean on. And that's not the case with this LSU team. They brought in Zach Mettenberger, a Georgia transfer for the season. He was supposed to upgrade this passing offense. It just hasn't happened, though. They rank 112th in passing. He's got 7 touchdowns, 4 picks, completing just 56.6% of his passes. I've seen him. He's been shaky far too often, and believe me, he hasn't seen an NFL-style defense like this one. This is going to be a very difficult time for the LSU offense to try and score some points. 2-0 under the total last season. Big number here, but I can't see LSU scoring many points, and Bama wins probably a 17-3 or 23-10 kind of game. Jay?
Yeah, I look at this as well, guys, and again, the adjustment in the number is pretty significant for what we would have seen early season, but Alabama's earned every right to be the favorite in this role. You know, going into last week, Alabama, they were a perfectly balanced offense. 219 yards rushing per game, 220 passing, and McCarron's a perfect 18-0 touchdown to interception ratio. He's protected because the defense obviously is so strong and can position them, but the balance is not only on offense that they have this year, they're averaging 40 points per game, and that's the only hesitation here and maybe a total, because I think Alabama is going to be able, like last season, get their points. And when you look at Mettenberger and the offense of LSU, he struggles in the passing game. If they get behind, this is not the type of offense for LSU that can come back, and certainly against this defense. That's my only concern with the total, is if Alabama gets out in front, we might see the ball in the air a little bit more, but you know, the matchups point to less scoring, I think, as well. Situationally, I don't think you could ask for it better for LSU. They come off a bye. They're going to be sky high. We know Baton Rouge. There's some dominating numbers here for Coach Miles in this role, and especially at home here in the night games. When you consider that they're getting almost double digits, that would seemingly put you on their side. And we see it week after week, Dave and John, in the college game. We saw Florida laying points last week. They get upset by Georgia after looking so strong. I think LSU comes with their best. I had Alabama in the championship game without any questions or hesitation last year. A little more hesitation laying these points here this week, but I agree with you guys, probably less scoring than the line maker has, even with the low total.
Good stuff. All right, best bet time, and a reminder as to the special offers that are available. I'm going to start. I will go to this Alabama-LSU matchup, and if 8 broke, don't fix it. I will play under once again as Alabama and LSU get together. And by the way, I played the under in both games last year and won them. So, you know, I'm basically on the gravy train as far as that particular wager goes. So Alabama-LSU under the total. I think this is as good as it gets. Look, everybody likes to sell big games, myself included. But the real sharp money is the money that knows it's not just a one-game battle. I mean, you pick and shoot and look for one big game. You got to play them all. And here's an opportunity to get all my action plays for the entire month in all sports. NFL, NBA, college football, even college basketball, and that gets underway. That's a lot of plays over the next 30 days. The only thing that's not a lot, your cost $1 per day. $30 for 30 days of winners. Make the call and get started tonight in the NBA. 1-866-896-1629 is the number. That's 1-866-896-1629. Jay, you are guaranteeing an 80% win rate this weekend, a 4-1 or better guarantee.
Dave, that'll include three college plays, and I'm going to come with the best bet this week in the game we talked about as well. And that's USC and Oregon over the total. And this is getting bet up to 70. And last week we had some great success using some weather situations. No such problem this week out in LA at the Coliseum. Perfect, 80 degrees, sunny, no issues. And 3 straight overs in this series, averaging 75 points per game. And you look at these teams in the matchups, some great offensive production. We see the problems that the USC potentially has on defense, and they're going to put up points here at home. Oregon's going to match them, and we talk about the motivational situation to be able to score and maybe win this by margin if they get the opportunity. So I play over the total as the best bet. 4-1 guarantee this week. All you have to do to get it for $25 is call 1-866-896-1627. It will include our AFC NFL Underdog Game of the Year. And again, we'll have some top plays in college action. 1-866-896-1627.
And if you do want to make an investment on that one really big game this weekend, here it is from Jim Feist. 10-2-1 on his last 13 games of the year in college football, going back to the 1990s. John, Saturday is the day for this year's college game of the year for Jim.
Yeah, it's a big day. My best bet will be Penn State. They're off that tough loss to undefeated Ohio State. They got they're playing a team this week, Purdue, that plays no defense. They've lost 4 in a row. They got a lame duck coach, and Bill O'Brien has really jump-started this Penn State offense. They're going to tear up Purdue, my top play. And Jim Feist has his college game of the year going Saturday, 10-2-1, 85% since 1999. You can get it for $25 with a guarantee. You will win or get the rest of November college football free. If you sign up early for this play, you get a TV winner going tonight, plus the NBA from Jim right through Saturday. All this for $25 plus the guarantee. 1-866-841-1655.
All right, guys, there you go. Take advantage of the offers. Make some money this weekend. We'll come back with 3 more Pro Lines next week. We're going to get the recap, which we get done on Tuesdays after all the NFL is done. And we take you ahead to the Thursday night game. And then, of course, our college and pro football editions as well. For Fairway J, John Cranton, Jeff Saad, Jim Feist, I'm Dave Cokin. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Have a great weekend.